welcome back to another episode, guys. Today is going to be a talking shirt story time edition. Now, today's episode is basically my favorite moments being the Melbourne City Club photographer. Now, similar to what I did with the Australia career game for the Asia Cup final, unfortunately, we are in a longer lockdown down here in Melbourne, and as of today, it's another 6 weeks staying at home, so I cannot produce the content that I wish I could have produced weeks ago that I planned in my head. And again, this is just another edition of me describing some of my favorite moments behind the camera. Now, my time at Melbourne City has only been around maybe 5 years or so years, and I've been so ever thankful for the opportunities that I've had. Now, I can remember the day that I got the call from Melbourne City to basically come and join and shoot some stuff for them. Time when I was in Sydney for a job and I was sitting at Bondi Beach with a client having a burger, and I got a call from, at that time, the media representative, Julius. And Julius had said, would you be interested in photographing some things next day? And I was meant to fly out the next morning, so I made my best plea to the client at Sydney to allow me to fly that night so I can get this opportunity. And I literally flew that night, and the next morning I had the time of my life, because it's been 5 or so years now, and being behind the camera at Melbourne City has been a dream job. Now, at the start, it started off with smaller things, shooting some training sessions and maybe some portraits here and there. And then it led into game day and documenting a lot more. And I'm just so ever grateful for not only the opportunity, but the moments that I've been able to be a part of, from the FFA Cup final to interstate travel when we've gone for the FFA Cup games, but also A-League matches. And yeah, just meeting so many amazing athletes, for staff members, and yeah, making a global family, because recently I flew to Japan and became friends with some of the Man City photographers, and being a part of the City Football Group has just connected me to amazing people across the globe. For example, if you have watched, I did a recent interview with Katie Calhoun. Sorry if I pronounced that name wrong, but she's the New York City photographer, and being a part of the City Football Group has been an amazing experience. Now, my time in Melbourne City, like I said, it's been 5 years, and from day one to now, I've had so many amazing games to document, but it's just been hard to choose my top moments. Now, a lot of this cannot be done without the help of the team. So again, I want to thank a lot of the people behind the scenes. Now, my media team at the moment consists of people like Yana, Alex, Nick, and Nick Wilson. And without those team members, I wouldn't have done this. Of course, I forgot to mention John Linden, because he designs a lot of the graphic design. Having this job, I forget that, you know, it is not only a job, but you're living the dream on the sideline. Because I always wanted to be a footballer. Not a lot of us, you know, want to be a footballer, but to be able to photograph these moments and live it on the sideline has just been an experience, a dream job. Now, like I said, it's been hard to choose my top moments or just the best images, because there could be training sessions that I love. There could be portrait sessions in studios, or just commercials with Puma or Nike at the time when I've shot behind the scenes. I have had some great moments behind the camera, but I think today's episode is just some images that I portray, in a sense that my best, you know, moments that I have shot, or just my best memories behind the lens. Now, of course, the players are currently in the hub in Sydney, and I would do anything to fly over there, even if I had to quarantine for 14 days prior to the finals. If there is an opportunity between now and then, I hope to make this episode in time that I can go there. But without a doubt, the players are doing an amazing experience. So a quick shout out to everyone out there in the hub for giving up so much, you know, family-wise and friends-wise, to be where they are and playing for the fans, because I'm sure a lot of us fans as well, being a City and Heart fan in the past, I know the players have done so much for us. So my daily routine for game day experience would be leaving home approximately 2 hours or so before kickoff, getting to the stadium in time for the players' arrival, documenting them getting out of their cars to going to the changing rooms, then of course following them into the room, documenting their prep mode. Once the players are out for warm-up, I'll try and run around the stadium, go to City Square, document all of that. Of course, a lot of sponsors to make sure we document. And then with game day, I only have 2 spots that I like to sit, and of course Dion sits either either side of me. Of course, again, Dion's work will be in the description below, but on game day, it's like music photography. When you sit in one spot, you just don't know where the individual will go. So a lot of these moments that I'm going to show you today, I would say football photography or sports in general, it's all up to luck, because again, like the Australia episode for the Korea game, you just don't know what's going to happen. And of course, when we had Timmy and Bruno Fornaroli, we knew where they would run because they had family members there, or Timmy would just go to the corner flag. But now with Jamie Maclaren, again, I'm sure we'll get a moment, but I have that one special game that he basically ran over, and yeah, what a moment that was. So again, let's get this episode started. These are my top moments at Melbourne City behind the camera. Now, straight away, I'm gonna say this, there is no order, there is no numbering to any of these images because I can't rank these images at all. I just love every moment. So let's just say that there is no order at all, and all these images I just love. Now, of course, I have to say, this is my favorite moment. I think it was around kickoff that I was moving from the far left corner all the way to the other corner flag, and it was against Central Coast Mariners at this game. And I had a feeling that we're going to score early because we had a lot of possession straight away. As I put my camera down, I checked up and it was the 3rd minute, and all I heard was Tim Cahill scoring a goal. And I quickly sat down, threw my cameras, and I only had one camera set up at the time. It was my 1DX with the 50mm. And of course, a lot of you out there would know 50mm isn't such a great sort of focal length. And right in front of me was the whole team doing this. And I have to say, like I said, when it comes to football photography or sports, it does come down to luck, because it was only me at that moment and I had this moment. So when I say I have no ranking in images, this will have to always be listed as my favorite image behind the camera for Melbourne City. Why? It's just literally, it's just Tim Cahill and the lads right in front of me, just this perfectly positioned image, and it was just the raw emotion. I just really love this moment. So I hope you can see why I like it, but it is one of my favorite images. I would love to print this on a large print and have it displayed on a wall, because it is just classic. Now, who doesn't love a Melbourne derby? Being a part of Melbourne City, but also being a Melbourne Heart fan, as you can see right behind me, when we play Victory, it is always the best games. And one of my favorite, if not best derbies, would always have to be having this man behind the captaincy. PK, Paddy Kisnorbo, one of the best leaders I've ever been able to document, now a part of the coaching staff at Melbourne City. This gentleman has been a part of amazing football clubs around the world, but when he came down to City, the leadership that he brought to our club, I just always enjoyed being behind the camera, working with him, and even now as a coach, taking photos of him is the best experience. And I remember this moment when he went over to the City fans and did that little shush moment for the derby. It literally still lays in my list of best derby moments. And a lot of us still remember this because this image gets circled online every time we play against Victory. So again, this will have to be one of my best moments. For anyone out there, camera nerds, this was shot on a 50mm, again, one of my favorite lenses. Now, when I say rivals, nothing is better than beating Sydney FC. I know a lot of us sort of compare the teams now with the City Blue and the Sky Blue color matching, but this FFA Cup moment, and it was our first silverware, being a part of the club and shooting this moment has to be the best sort of part of documenting for a club, because you create history with the players in a sense that I get to document something that may forever live with the club. So when Timmy Cahill does Timmy Cahill, he scores that beautiful header in the later stages of the game and then celebrates as we see on the screen right now. One of my favorite parts about this image is when you look at the Sydney FC fans on the right, they are literally not even looking at Timmy, but the fact that we won this game and then went on to celebrate for hours. And I remember all the Big M chocolate just falling off the roof in the change rooms. But this image here, Timmy just jumping up onto the ad boards, I just have these goosebumps because I remember just tracking him, jumping up, shooting, headering the ball into the back of the net and then running down to the corner flag And yeah, just again, pure brilliance, Timmy Cahill, and what a moment for us in the FFA Cup. Now, I know this image is a little out of focus, but because this was a special moment for Melbourne City fans, we wore our first Puma red and white striped kit. I love this moment because prior to the game, Luna came up to me and said, I'm wearing boots for my kids. I want to celebrate with a special moment for him if I score. And he actually scored, and I was ready for this, but I did tell him, and I've told a lot of players in the past, remember, my camera needs distance between me and you to get a right shot. But yeah, I can't really show the footage here because of legal rights, but Adrian decided to run literally only a meter right in front of me, and I only had one lens at that time because that's all I had set up. 7200mm for all of you camera nerds out there. And yeah, Connor Metcalf just runs over, jumps, and I got this. I focused on the side of his head, but I still think this is one of my favorite moments in City sort of era again, because the emotion that these two players just, you know, put out there right in front of me, and then having the fans right behind me, it was just pure, yeah, I just couldn't understand where and why they ran to me, because you look at the replay now, if you can find this moment, and you'll just see me there by myself, falling backwards, just accepting what was happening. But again, thank you to Adrian Luna for doing this. Yeah, we created something amazing here, mate. Another derby moment, and again, I love derby moments. This is a long time ago, but Paulo Retro scored. I'm not sure if it was one of his first or later goals for City before he departed, but with this team that we had, you know, Bruno, Navilla, Moy, I just love the energy that these boys brought to the game. And when Paulo scored this goal, ran over to the corner flag, I immediately jumped off my seat, ran down the sideline and got this. It's not the best sort of moment. I know there's a lot of different angles from this. I would have loved to have shot from the corner flag low and trying to get the lights in the background. But again, I think I love this because, again, one, derby moment. Two, being a City fan, you just love having these moments when, you know, you stick it to them. But three, just for me, shooting this, having all the players, I can just already remember all the screaming and yelling and just the pure just joy that these players enjoyed at that moment. And when I say derby moments, again, a lot of these are probably going to be derby moments. So I'm so sorry if you are a Victory fan watching this, but I know the 2020-21 season for you has been horrible, and I'm so happy to say that. But when Jamie scored this, I at training said to Jamie, and Jamie, if you're watching this, I'm hopeful that we can get this again next season. But I always say to him, mate, I'm going to be in the corner. If you want to celebrate and do something special, just find me. And he found me, all right? But he kind of slid a bit too early, and you'll see in the next few images, he went down early. But yeah, thank you so much for that moment, mate, because this, you know, again, I have way too many derby moments. I just love this. Yeah. And as you can see, this is what occurred. This entire series led up to the point where I ran around and tried getting the floodlights in the background. You'll see in the next few images. But to have this, the face-on moment with Jamie, just pure brilliance from him. Yeah, hopefully he can win the top goal scorer for the season because he deserves it. The hard work he puts in, and just having this moment for me has just been the best experience so far this season. And of course, like I said, one thing I love doing in game experiences, and I know we're technically not allowed to, for a lot of you that don't understand the media rules, we're not allowed to move during the game for legal reasons, in the sense that we may obstruct with ad boards. But again, I needed to get this shot, and I'm so grateful that I did, because yeah, Jamie again doing his classic celebration, and I'm pretty sure he dedicates to the Lewandowski, because again, typical forward striker, always poaching the goals. And the moment that I got next, I just love. I think again, one of my favorite City moments, because it's almost like the boys have done their job and they're just going back for more. Oh, Adelaide moments. I love going to Cooper Stadium. Nothing more than enjoying the Adelaide City because it is so quiet, but going to Cooper Stadium at a night game, something about the floodlights at this stadium at Cooper's, I just love. And I always wish we had something like this in Melbourne. I know we have a lot of lucky stadiums like Melbourne Knights, South Melbourne out there, but there's nothing like Cooper Stadium. Now, the worst thing I can say right now is that every time I go to Adelaide, I feel like we lose. I feel like we lose every game. So I'm gonna say it right now. If we're going to Adelaide for a FA Cup final or any sort of game in the future, I'm not going, because for some reason it never ends up being a win. And when I don't go, and I kid you not, they win. So yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm not going to an away game at Adelaide ever again. If I have to, and I would love to, the lights at this stadium allow me to get creative. I love going so low into the grass that I can shoot this moment. And yeah, shooting Florin with this moment, I had an amazing amount of series. Now again, another derby moment. I'm so sorry. I'm sure I have other moments against Newcastle, Perth, etc. But Timmy Cahill, I'm pretty sure it's his first game. He just hits it from just after the halfway line, top corner, and he just runs over to the corner flag. That's why I sat there. And I remember this moment, he literally just ran as fast as he could. And to think that like 30, 40,000 people were just screaming for pros and con moments. Yeah, Timmy, you just did an amazing moment, and it will forever live on as a City fan as the best derby moment, I have to say, because yeah, having Timmy a part of your squad has always been amazing. What a gentleman he is. And yeah, that game, I just lost my voice, because prior to the end of the game, I think Bruno took my camera and did a few photos. I don't have that image in this series today, but I definitely will. I think that's a GoPro footage I definitely will have to share in the future, but this is one of the best moments. And then prior to that running shot, we got this, all the players just jumping on top of Timmy. And I love this shot again because I've got the cameraman on the right, and it was just the pure rawness of the players just piling on. You know, you got the Victory fans in the back, you've got our City fans on the right here, and then the players just piling up, the pure just excitement from Bratsy's face, and even just getting that rawness. I think this again has to be a print-worthy image. Yeah, this image, I think it's just one of my favorite images of Paddy, but I think Hughes had just scored a header. He didn't have a long stint at Melbourne City, but having Paddy running with the team, just always brings me that memory of the leadership that he brought to the club. And I just love the pure, just again, clean approach to this shot, because it was used a lot for advertising at the time. So yeah, I added this to the list. Oh my God, I think I added way too many derby moments again, but yeah, I have to dig it to them, because I had this moment where I knew Bruno was gonna score a penalty, and I had set myself up behind the goals. I wanted something different at this time, because again, having the same shot every time becomes repetitive. So I got this, and Bruno just ran straight to the Fox Sports camera, but having that shot through the net is something different. And yeah, I really enjoyed shooting this moment, because it was a great game. I think we drew 3-3 or 4-4, I'm not sure, but yeah, again, I try something different every time, and this is just a pure example of that. Again, Bruno Fornaroli scored an amazing amount of goals. There was one goal I couldn't find in my hard drives, because with all these images, they are stored online and in hard drives. I wanted to re-edit them, bring a new approach to my editing for this video. But yeah, Bruno Fornaroli, special moment, because the family of his was sitting usually on the back on, I think just where I sit on the corner flag or right behind me. So when he scored, I always knew he would run there. And having again this moment of him, it's not the best shot, but I think as a City photographer, I was able to just always be there for his moments, and I'm really, just grateful for that. Another moment that I really enjoyed is when Harry Navilla scored, because it was always pure excitement. He would just run, no planned moment, he would just run. So I think this is one of my favorite shots, because I always wanted to get him mid-air. And yeah, I think again, one of his earlier, or not, if not last goals for the club. Another derby moment, Jesus. I think I've got to stop putting derby moments. But again, Riley McGree, we scored, I think later stages of the game. And I wish he had come right closer to the ad boards and, you know, just connected with the fans a bit more, because I would have loved to get a bit more detail of him doing this. But having it as a wide shot, again, having the Victory player on the right, I'm not sure if that's Terry Antonis. or Corey Brown on the left. I'm not sure which players is on the right of the floor, but yeah, having this again just screams the best moment, or one of the best moments of the derby. Now, it's not an action shot, it's nothing special, but this was again a derby moment. Jeez, I gotta stop putting derbies in here. But having Aaron Mooy at the club and to see where he has gone over the years, I think 5 years, because he was at the club around 2015. I joined just after Villa had left. But having Aaron Mooy a part of the club, I will never forget basically documenting his time in Melbourne, because what an amazing athlete he was for the club. And this image to me just spoke of how lucky we were to have him here, but I think that's what I wanted to picture at the time. And yeah, I think I would love to see him come back to the A-League and finish his career. But he's doing amazing jobs in the Premier League right now. Another FFA Cup moment, I think we've got two here. When the boys had won and they were running, the best experience about being a part of the club's background staff, you have this access that you can just run around and the players will sort of respect or understand. And that's one thing I have to always say, is that I would never cross the line of a photographer and a club sort of representative. I still will pay respect to these athletes and make sure I don't get too close, because again, if you do something, someone else will copy you, no matter who they are or know who you are, because again, these moments are for the players, and for me to document it, I will try my best. But yeah, Bruno and Timmy running off with the FFA Cup, this I love, and still, yeah, it's a special image for me, and I loved this day because yeah, it was our first silverware, or my first silverware, a part of the club, and documenting it. And of course, when Timmy ran over to the City Terrace and having this connection, I love again. It sort of played a part to the Asia Cup image that I have of him holding our Asia Cup trophy. But yeah, again, another image that I love. And the famous moment when we lifted the trophy with Johan van Schip. But again, one of the moments that is now forever on our wall, but again, a history for the club. So I love this image, even though it's a bit pixelated because I had to zoom it in many ways because we were situated halfway on the pitch. But yeah, I love this moment because it was that night. Now that's all for now, because I have a lot more images I'd love to talk about. I may do certain game days and maybe even FFA Cup final, because there's a lot of images from that. Again, I have missed out on a lot of images from training sessions and many other games. I would love to do a lot more, but it was so hard to choose. But if you are interested in me doing other episodes, of course, if you're a City fan, I'm sure you would, any other stories you'd like me to tell, please let me know. I'm happy to make them. And now with a lot more time in lockdown, there is a lot of time for me to get creative. So don't be scared to ask away. I've loved every moment being a part of City. And again, like I said, they're in the hub up in Sydney. Can't make it. And I do hope I could make it, but we'll see what happens. I am really excited to see what's going to happen in the next couple of years, because next season will be a big one, hopefully with the Rona calming down. But I'd love to be a part of a lot more silverware moments. And like I said, I had the opportunity to go to Japan last year and shoot alongside the Man City photographers. I did have plans in 2020 to hopefully go over to Manchester and maybe New York to shoot some games alongside the other City photographers, but we'll see what happens in the future. And again, I loved doing this video. I think looking back at some of the images that I have documented for City just reminds me of how lucky I am to be a part of this club. I love everything about it, and I can't wait to get behind the camera. I had a couple of weeks with the training sessions prior to the players leaving for Sydney, and it was sort of a taste and almost like a carrot at the front of me telling me that I can get a bit more creative with the way I shoot. And again, I just want to say a quick thank you to all the City fans who have allowed me over time, over 5 years, to connect with them and document a lot of things for them. But of course, the Melbourne City staff, media and background staff for allowing me to be a part of their journey. If you are interested in some of these images for your desktop backgrounds or anything like that, I'm happy to make a Dropbox download link so you can download these. If there's anything else you'd like from me, any other videos, maybe a part 2, I'm happy to dig deeper and find something else. But as always, I just want to say thank you so much again for watching these videos. Again, I have noticed that only 50% of people that watch my videos are subscribed. So if you can, please subscribe to this channel, and I promise I will upload at least weekly, if not twice a week. And as always, please stay safe, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.